Come
on. All right. It says we're live. So, welcome from the Crossroads of America, a talk show shooting with disabilities, but we also talk guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. Or answer questions from the audience. Just put them in the chat or email me at rickslife@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com, and we'll get to you. So, okay, let's see who's in the room so far. First in, but he's not here because he had to go run errands, is Southpaw RX was first in. Then Jason Stewart, Rich White, Jerry Parker. So far in the chat, people will start flooding in if they will. I don't know. It's a beautiful evening out here in southern Indiana. I know that much. Got up in the 90s again today. So let me introduce my panel. Up here in the my top corner, I got Jason Stewart. How you doing?
Oh, I'm living life spoiled and complaining every minute. Thanks for the invite. Good to see you, old boy.
That's the American way. Rich from This Week Unloaded. How you doing?
Not too bad. How's everybody doing?
All right. Then we got the man, the myth, the legend, Patriot in the Dark.
Well, good afternoon. I'm laughing easy and stepping large and laughing easy. I don't know. I'm outside in the sunshine, so I can't complain.
All right.
Hello,
then we got Will and Well Armed.
Thank you very much, Rick. Doing very good.
All right. And we got the one and only Squibload.
Yep.
All right. So far I was have you got any of you got a topic you want to bring up? You know, shooting with disabilities wise right now? You know, I just I was thinking. Well, I got one here myself, but I think we touched on it a little last week. But it's to do with your range that you go to if you go to one. You know, are they completely accessible for handicap people? What we touched on last week is that I know I'm assuming they're still doing it. The NRA used to give, I don't know if they still do, give grants to gun ranges to make them accessible for handicap or disabled people, I should say. You know?
So my range is a state DNR range. And the changes that were made to it, the additional shooting stations, the handicap accessibility, even the restrooms put in there. As far as I know, it was all paid for by the NRA, not the state of Michigan. So you guys can vilify the NRA all you want and be the echo chamber, all these big poser YouTube channels that they're so bad and they've never done anything good, and then they get their facts, mixed up about the NFA and all kinds of other crap the NRA was involved in, and they never do anything good. But now the people with those placards they hang from their rearview mirror, that get to park up front at the grocery store and block the aisle when I'm trying to shop, now they can park right up there at the 10-yard range. They don't have to go uphill or anything.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't badmouth the NRA on that one myself. I agree with you. No,
Rick, but I mean, on a lot of these shows, or people out in the audience, maybe not necessarily on this show, but yeah, sometimes, NRA is so bad, they do everything bad, they did this, they did that, they've never done anything good for us, they sold us out, it's like, dude, you don't even know the NRA. I'm not saying they're angels, they're not. They are not angels. But there are so many people that just like, well, big YouTube channel X with 100,000 subscribers said the NRA is bad, so they must be bad. And it's like, dude, do some critical frickin' thinking. There are good things that the NRA still does, and there's lots of good things the NRA has done. They've done some shitbag things too. So, but that's just it though. The same people that they have the capability to think for themselves. don't. They can, they don't.
Yeah, you're right. And that brings me to another point. That's like, as I mentioned last week, here, is I might get half a dozen comments on a video that I did, on one of these chats, and one bad one. I'll focus on the bad one and not the good ones. And that's what people do with the NRA. They focus on the bad stuff and not what the good they've done. But yeah, well, I mean, I don't go to a range here in Indiana. I shoot in people's backyards or down the conservation club, and it's not really a shooting. It's got yes, it has a range because it's got a berm, but all they shoot there is shotguns on their turkey shoots. So there's nothing. I mean, there's a handicap parking there outside the clubhouse, and they got the rest. I mean, unfortunately, if I go there, the clubhouse is locked up, but they do have a handicap bathroom in there too. But they don't have. But the one outside is not handicapped accessible. But luckily, I don't. I can walk, so I can go in it. So, but yeah. But the one I used to go to in Rhode Island, you had the handicap parking, and just what you said, handicap parking. You could go there. I used to drive right up to the range and all kinds of good stuff when I wanted to. So, what about where you shoot at, Will and Well Armed?
Yeah. So we've got 3 rooms of 8 ranges. So the first lane, the 9th lane, and the 17th lane are all accessible because the hand controls, for the targets are about 3.5 feet off the ground, where all the other 23 or whatever, 21 targets, the controls are about 6 feet off the ground, because there's plexiglass there. They just didn't design it right.
Yeah.
Then, bathrooms accessible, parking lots accessible, 2 handicap spots, probably not enough because, on Saturdays and Sundays, all the Cadillac people or Lexus people always parked in the handicap spots, because they got a handicap placard, but they're not in a wheelchair. They're just rich people that got handicap placard.
Yeah.
And then, but compared to other ranges, I mean, there's another range I used to go to, and they just, they had 2 steps, and so they just took about 6 bags of Quickcrete and made a ramp. So you go up 2 feet in a matter of 5-foot ramp. So it's like a way over a 1 to 12 slope.
Yeah. Isn't it meant to go down or up 12? It's meant to go 12 inches, or I can't remember exactly how it's meant to go, but it's a
1 inch per 12 foot.
That's it.
1 inch per foot.
Yeah.
But I think there are some, like places like on a turn, like if a wheelchair ramp does a switchback, I think they can go a little bit shorter on the switchback. I mean, they got some kind of play in there, but this one is just nowhere near legal. I mean, it would be okay to push up a wheelbarrow, but that's about it.
I'm quite surprised nobody's caught him on it.
I complained about it. In fact, I called the state on them. When I stopped going there, because I'd have to wait. Somebody'd have to hold open the door, and 2 people would have to push me up that thing. I mean, it was
that steep. Okay, yeah,
yeah. And going down it, it was so scary. I'd fall out the front of my chair, so I had to go down backwards, and it was just hell.
Huh.
Anyway, but most of them aren't that bad. There's a 3rd range, and the ceiling is low. It's like an 8-foot ceiling total, so the track is about 7 foot, and so if the target is in 7 yards from me, I'm going to hit the ceiling because the ceiling's just that low. Being in a wheelchair and pointing up. And so it was real weird. I'd have to take the targets out. And then if they were all the way out, like 25 yards, I'd take it out. And, my bullets hit the floor. So it was just weird. I had to fold the targets up. Just wasn't made for somebody sitting. It was made for somebody standing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. After a while, I just said, fuck it. I'll shoot through the ceiling if they're going to act like this.
Yeah. I remember going to an indoor range and they would give me a chair to sit on. This is way back when I first got my scooter. I would sit in this chair, but yeah, and I'm thinking the ceiling was low in there too. Yeah, and I hit it a few times. I don't know what it was made of, but the bullet did bounce off it. But
there's a fourth range, and it's got metal slats, like they want to steal all your brass, right? But in a wheelchair, the metal slats are about 1 inch, gap with a 1/4 inch of steel, a grating pointing upright, and my wheels are always, when you turn parallel to the slats, my wheels are about that thick, so they're always getting caught in the slats. It seems like a long way to go to steal somebody's brass, I hate that place. They're like, oh, we'll give you a free pass with with your, when you buy a gun. I'm like, well, hell, you're gonna go that steal your brass range. I'm not going in there.
What about the range you go to, Jason?
My range is an outdoor range. We're private membership. There's nothing really set up for handicap, like say being in a chair, but there's really no obstacles either to keep you from it. You pull in on parking like gravel, and then it's just flat, open grass to get you out to the pistol. But on the other side where the rifle is, you can pull up pretty close to it on the side. And I've seen plenty of people pull their trucks right up to the stations, up to the benches to unload and then go take it and park it off. So I'm sure if you needed to, because you're a member, there'd be no problem with going to the pistol part and driving all the way up to it and parking right there. I know one of our only rules is don't leave ruts in the grass. That's really all they say. So they wouldn't harp on anybody disabled or anything. I don't know if they really have the money to provide anything fancy, you know what I mean? But there's certainly no obstacles or curbs or hills or anything in your way.
Yeah. You're
but our restrooms is the old-fashioned wooden outhouse built over top of a hole. So that's about all you get.
That's modern convenience here where I'm at in Indiana. So when I used the outdoor club I belonged to when I lived in Rhode Island, they allowed me to pull my pickup right up to the pistol line, and I used to if I didn't have my scooter with me, I would just drop the tailgate and sit on there. That's how close I was to the line, so that's good. What about you, Rich? Ranges you use?
Yeah, we go to an indoor range. They're fairly accessible. Not having to deal with the whole issue like what the wheeled one arm does. I don't know how well he would do in there, but so I can't really comment too much on it. But they don't have to have a ramp or anything because their door is ground level, and they have a buzzer there for your handicaps so they can come let you in the building, and so you can get them. And the bathroom that they have is just a single toilet, old style office bathroom. I don't remember if it's got the handicap bars in there or not. So I think I used it once to wash my hands, and that was about it. So.
Yeah.
But, and the staff and everything's super friendly there and everything. So if somebody was having difficulty, like if they were in a wheelchair or something, getting their targets hung up, I'm sure that the range officer, Big Seth, that works there, he would. It's funny. His actual name is Seth, and he looks like Seth Rogen.
Yeah. Oh, Blind Shooter just is in the chat, and he said his range is 100% accessible, and the owner went above and beyond to make sure it was constructed that way, even with the new addition he just built. Some which was funded by the National Rifle Association. So I mean, they must be still doing grants, which is good. Unknown user. Now, see, he says his indoor range put up plywood partitions to prevent people from collecting any brass that falls in front of the firing line. Well, I thought common sense would tell you to stay behind the firing line. I mean, my indoor range that I went to, you could pick all the brass you wanted up, anywhere. But if it was in the front of the firing line, you're a loss.
Yeah, that's the way ours is. As long as it's behind where you're at, the shooting side of the firing line, you're good. But don't cross that firing line to go pick up the brass.
Yeah, well, what I would do sometimes was I would ask for the broom, for I could make it easier for me to pick up with my disability. And occasionally I might throw the broom underneath the bench in front of the fire line and sweep it back to grab some more brass. But, I'll do that occasionally. Well, let's get to the last person here. Is the man himself, meaning Patriot in the Dark. I mean, do they? I mean, I know you use the range. Do they make it accessible for you?
I got two places. The first would be maybe 40 minutes east of me, and it's actually it's just like a gravel parking lot, and they've got cement barriers like you'd have in the median or freeway or whatever, kind of around the edge, and you can just back up, and if you're at a truck or SUV, you just back up, open your tailgate, and that's where you shoot from. There's like two different. Yeah, you know where it's at.
Yeah, I know where that's at. Yeah, it's perfect for you.
Yeah. Well, and it's nice because you can bring your own stuff. You got to wear ear protection because obviously people shooting around you or whatever. But there is no, range officer. There's none of that stuff. So you just got to pay attention to who's around you, of course. But the main one that's closest to me, it's only like 3 miles from me. They've totally redid it. It's huge. The outside, I haven't shot at in the outdoor range since they've redone a lot of it. But you walk through the building to pay, and then you kind of walk through the back door, and it's down steps and across the gravel and whatever. But they actually, if you need, you can actually drive back there. I've had them say, because like my mom, she can't walk long distances or whatever, so just drive her to the back or whatever. But hopefully they've changed the outdoor portion where you're not crossing over any dirt paths or gravel or whatever, and have kind of a sidewalk or something. But indoors, it is all accessible because it's a brand new building, and if you're building and you're to code, I'm sure all those the ADA and the distances for the doors to go in. The only thing that I kind of question is they have an airlock portion for the indoor range. So you open the door and you go into the little prep station. It's got the half tables up on the wall, and then you turn 90 degrees and go through the door to go into the range. It's so that you're not opening that door and that the sounds going into the gun shop part or whatever. But I think it's really wide in there, so I think a chair would be fine going through there. I mean, there are sills, but I'm sure they're stepped or whatever. They're ramped up or whatever. But and I believe there's a couple couple lanes in there that's got to be shorter because they had some ladies were shooting and they were complaining that they were at the short table or whatever. So, but I'm sure with the short ones that those controls are. I haven't seen. You know, they let me shoot wherever I want, and they all run away from me. So
Yeah.
but yeah, the just kind of nice to pull up. Same thing, but the only problem is you got to get out to where you're posting your targets and stuff at the outdoor range. So, you know, if it's muddy and swampy, you know, that I don't know if they've changed it because I've went a couple times where it was, you might lose you know, but I think they've, you know, grading and all that stuff because the rifle, shotgun, got skeet, those spots in the back.
Well,
It's a huge.
Send your buddy Squib over there to check it out for you.
I'm sure he's been there.
You know. So.
Yeah, it's the biggest one here in the area. And if you're in this area, that's the one you go to.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know which one. I know which one you're talking about. I've driven past it. I've never actually set foot inside.
They do it's Williams Gun Sight Company, and they do the fire sites and all that stuff. So if you're on a site and you're buying fire sites or some of the other peep sites, they're made here. So that's where they come from. So they're big and they've got online stuff, and it's a lot better now, I guess. You know, they're used guns, but they've got a lot of turnover there. So it's almost like walking into a Cabela's, but it's not. You know, it's a gun shop, and they have guns and, you know, some holsters and bags and ammo and stuff. But the turnover with the people that work there, you know, it's hit or miss. Tuesdays 9 o'clock. If you're going to get a guy that knows what he's talking about.
All right. Okay. We got Echo Reload Chambers in the house. I just see it in the chat. Unknown user, because that's why they put the ply. Damn, I'm put my teeth back in. You know,
plywood.
Yeah, the plywood. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, in front there to stop you from putting the broom there for sweeping it up. Way said this way they can sell it back to you next week in a Ziploc bag. You know. I know. Some ranges won't even let you pick up the brass on your side of the line. I've heard, which if a range won't let me pick up my brass, then I ain't going there no more. You know, it's that simple. Anyway, we got a couple of more people coming in the room. We got New York Outcast. How you doing?
Doing well. Sorry for the delay. Just finished up work and barely made it back on time. So,
that's okay.
Hello, everybody, and Patriot. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we got and Guns and Barbecue. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for the invite.
Okay. What we were going around with the panel and was, I doubt, I'm assuming that your private range is disabled, it's got all the amenities for the disabled, right, Rob?
If you can make it there, you can shoot. So, no, not really.
I know, but
it's probably not ideal. It depends on. That's not the only place. That's the one I go for videos all the time. I go to friends' places for others, but people are kind of funny about cameras. I'd state I have had people out there with disabilities. One of my dad's friends. Just the fact I don't know the quite list of them, but he can't walk far, can't hold much for too long, a lot of stuff like that or whatever.
Yeah.
Neil State, but we were able to drive. I took him to a different spot than I normally go there that we could pretty much drive to, walk 5 feet and shoot. So,
that's good.
So it, that's nice about the state land areas if you have them in your local area and there isn't a bunch of BS to go there.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, how about you, Guns and Barbecue? Is your range handicap accessible?
Well, lately, if I do get to go shooting, it's just usually down in a family friend's rock pit. So, I guess technically you could say yes. But local ranges around me that I used to frequent, there's an indoor range that I think is, I know that it has stairs going down into the range, but I do believe there's an outside access door where if somebody is in a chair or something, they could probably go in through that door. Um, then the one other range that's an outdoor range that I would go to, I don't really think I call it handicap accessible because to get up to the shooting platform, you've got to go up probably 15 stairs or so. And last time I was there, there was no ramp or anything for a person in a chair to easily get up the hill or anything. So, and plus it's all grass covered, and if it was wet out or anything, then you're gonna have to contend with mud and whatnot. So, some are, some aren't.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. I was just curious how everybody's range was. I mean, as I was telling people, I think I mentioned it before we went live. I went shooting yesterday. That's a clean. That's a clean AR-15 up there on the wall, and we can see it on my R&L display. I'm using the wall mount right now. The one in front is the I don't know, would you call it a table model or desk mount? But you can go to rnldisplay.com, use my discount code, get 15% off.
Yeah, I think that discount code is Shill15, I think.
Yeah, it's Rick's Life, and you get 15% off because I'm a poser, you know? I don't get nothing for it. I'm just doing it because it's a friend. So there you go.
That should be a lesson to some of you people.
Yes.
That's what friends do.
Yes. So anyway, yeah, go on.
Just for the you guys that can't see the chat, a lot of people's hopped in. Didn't want to go down and name them all because my screen changed, but just wanted to let you know Sabrina snuck in a while back.
Well, hey, Sabrina, I didn't see her sneak in. Yeah. So, okay. I mean,
Hello, Sabrina.
Yeah, unknown users in because I mentioned a couple of his chats. Echo Reload Chambers here. You know, so.
Yeah. Echo. Moo's out there. 2 Live Moo.
Oh, yes.
There's a few people. I just don't know who's been mentioned, who hasn't. But
yeah. Well, appreciate it. Yeah, everybody's coming in. So that's that was my sort of topic, really, that I had lined up for shooting with disabilities. What about my clean AR-15 back there because I cleaned it last night because I went shooting yesterday, and I was trying to sight in the iron sights, but I was having with my contact lenses and the sweat and the humidity, and I'm coming up with all these excuses for not being able to. I mean, I hit the target, but I wasn't getting good groups, and I was, I'll shoot one shot, dead center bullseye. Second shot, aiming the same place, it would be 3 inches to the left, 5 inches down. I couldn't get it consistent, and I was having trouble. Plus, as I was saying, my bench was a picnic table turned sideways with a stool at the end of it for me to sit on, and it was sort of sloping backwards. So I'm trying to lean forward, and it done my back in big time. It was all right when I was there, but it was when I got home and after I was cleaning the AR-15 and I got up to put it hanging on the wall there. Oh man, I thought I was going to die. I practically used the AR-15 as a crutch to get to the room here because I was cleaning it in front of the TV. So And I still have, I know this is embarrassing. I still have trouble getting the charging handle and boat carrier back in. It doesn't slide in easy like it does in older videos. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I got it back in. So, yeah.
It should, Rick. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Rob. Tell him.
I was just saying it should, Rick. You just probably more muscle memory habit to get it to go in enough to drop down, and then you can slide the bolt and the charging handle in together. So, yeah, maybe I'm misunderstanding, but if not, I know, might be a little tight, this and that. I don't know if you are, lightly lubricating, wiping off, but it shouldn't be too much of a hassle but you got to do it in order. That's the biggie.
Yeah, I mean, sliding the charging handle in, I know it gets to a certain point and you can feel it. It feels like it drops and then it slides real easy. I'm having getting that spot is hit or miss for me right now. You know what I'm saying?
Tuesday nights, 9:00.
Yes, you're right. So, what is the old Marine Corps way of doing it there, Squib? Is there any
the first thing is we don't source our AR-15s from a revolver company. That could be part of the problem.
No, but is there any secret to finding that sweet spot inside there?
There really isn't a sweet spot. You just drop it in.
Oh, okay. All right. I need to practice it more. I said I've only shot the thing 3 times. So I've only had
gas key lines up with the inside of the charging handle, and it just drops right in. If it doesn't, it could be operator error, but there could be some fitment problems with it. I would say just practice it with it. Make sure your rifle's inverted when you do it.
Yeah,
I was
going to say use gravity to your advantage.
Upside down.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm assuming that's what he meant. Upside down with that big word, inverted.
You asked for the Marine Corps way. We speak in an orderly, proficient military manner.
Yeah. All right, so we're I think it's operator error. It's not anything wrong with the actual rifle itself. It's me. I said I just haven't got the hang of it yet. But once I sort of like a couple of times, I finally got the sweet spot. Dropped the boat carrier and slid right in, no problem. Of course, then I'll say, okay, I know how to do it now. I'll pull it all back out, and damn if I don't have trouble getting it back in again. And another 15 minutes later till I finally figured out what I'm doing.
Why are you taking it out and putting it back in so many times?
Trying to figure out how to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, the last time I done it, I got it in there and I left it in there. And came and hanging on the wall. So
I just cleaned mine last night, so we might have been cleaning at the same time.
Maybe.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
They're cleaning buddies.
The same stars.
And hung it on the same display.
They're M&P cleaning buddies.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Smith and Mr. Wesson.
Hey, man.
Yeah, but
don't hate it, okay?
Hey, look how good that is hanging on the wall there. It looks like it's suspended in midair. So there we go. All right.
Real quick, Squib forgets that a lot of those AR-15s were, or M16s, I should say, were sourced from a different revolver company.
Let's see.
I believe
the ones that I dealt with were Colt, Bushmaster, and FN.
Yeah, exactly. Colt
was a revolver company.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they sort of were. When I think of Colt, I don't think of a Patterson. I think of a 1911.
Well, there's one company that owns the technical data package on the AR-15, and everybody else backward engineered them.
When I was
Sorry, I'm
in,
reading here.
we had two brands, Colt and Mattel, and the Mattel were pretty damn good.
Oh, you had the A1s.
A2s as well.
You in the Marine Corps too, or the Army?
Army.
Oh, we're even on both sides now, aren't we? Or wait a minute, Rich, you were Army, weren't you?
Yeah, Army's ahead by one.
Oh, it's 3-2.
They need all the help they can get.
All right, so
Yeah, usually it takes a whole bunch.
Well, at least we can color the picture. You guys just eat the crayons.
Makes a good dessert. I put crayon in my salad.
Yeah.
Had
Oh,
to keep camp, right?
I had salad last night, actually.
Hey, speaking of salad, I've got a question over there for
Me
side
too.
salad. If you got a second there, side salad, if you could answer this question. Are you okay with people putting dried fruit and nuts in their salad?
Definitely.
Okay, because I mean you'd recommended cube cheese before, but not really much of anything else.
Yeah, but if you're putting fruit in your salad, what kind of dressing do you use?
No dressing. Dressing's bad for you.
I
like dressing.
I use malt vinegar because I've run out of everything else.
Man,
Well, that might be low in calories though. So here's the thing: if you make yourself a salad with all kinds of fresh, healthy stuff in there and well balanced as far as vitamins and minerals and stuff like that, and then you put dressing on there, you might as well just go ahead and eat an ice cream sundae because that dressing is more fattening than the ice cream.
Oh,
and a lot of people don't realize that. Now, if you eat a salad plain, you might go yuck at first, but then after a while you start to taste all of the vegetables in there. And if you put stuff in there like dried fruit or different kinds of nuts or cheese or something like that, that kind of mixes in. Now you get a variety of flavor in there. Another thing to consider is you can use lemon juice or lime juice, maybe malt vinegar. I don't know about the calorie count in malt vinegar, but if you're trying to eat a salad to eat healthier and to reduce your calorie count, putting dressing in there is not a good idea.
All right.
Still better than Burger King or McDonald's or Taco Bell.
Hey, I rather have the chocolate sundae.
You just take a little bit of olive oil and mix that in with your malt vinegar and maybe a little bit of just spices that you have in your cabinet, and you can make yourself a fairly low fat dressing that way.
Yeah, that sounds good actually.
Yeah.
Also,
Man,
play with your vinegars and oil, as well as oil. Apple cider vinegar. There's a red wine vinegar. That's you might want to split. Like if you're making it, go half and half normal vinegar and half the other because the taste is. You notice it, but the apple cider vinegar is actually really good for you.
Well, actually, believe it or not, I know we're sort of going on to food here, but talking about malt vinegar, I don't do it as much as I used to. When I was a kid and a teenager, or even up into my 30s, I would drink malt vinegar. I would nearly every day. I sort of like pour myself a shot glass full of it. I love this stuff. Maybe that's why I'm so healthy and live so long. There
you go.
Well, all that stuff there. Yeah, I see it. All that vinegar. You like vinegars? I take it.
No, just some's better for different things, different dressings or different purposes, and we make some for health purposes. In some cases, with salads and things.
All right, totally off that subject of food. Echo says the Smith & Wesson M&P 15 is actually a very, very well built gun. So there you go.
Damn right.
I mean, yeah, if you like to play with a child's toy, I guess, but you know.
Mhm.
I heard that if you buy them, that they give you a conversion kit to make your Glock a 22 as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean,
This damn mess. All cat toys.
yes. So G23
Ridiculous.
joined us. The Fence Dads joined us. So things are looking up. So we got people coming in all the time here. So you guys got any other topics on disabled or guns or anything?
Real quick, Rob, feel lucky, man. The kitten, his latest thing is going in the garbage can. You know the little plastic things that cold medicine come in? He likes pulling those out of the garbage can and batting them around. So you find them all over the damn place.
The same way he pulled that fish out of the bowl.
This one goes for paintbrushes, one of them. So we had an art box that was low, and I swear every brush was stashed under the office carpet. So we had like 10 or 12 brushes. I don't know how they get halfway under the carpet. It's an area rug, but she does it.
Yeah. Oh, Defense Dad says he's back on the salads there. He makes a sort of chef salad, but puts a little cottage cheese in it instead of dressing. So
what about chickpeas? How about chickpeas?
Who
I
eats
think
those?
it's fine.
Does people still eat those?
Yeah.
So I put peanuts in it. They're related to chickpeas.
Yeah. So, all right. Oh, talking about you were talking about your cat just now, weren't you? My cat woke me up this morning because he was hungry. At 5 minutes to 7, he jumped. I was already awake, but I was hoping he wouldn't notice. But he jumped on the bed and got onto my pillow. And he's a big cat, don't forget. He's 25 pounds. And he pokes his paw into my face to wake me up because he was hungry. As soon as I said, all right, I'm getting up, he jumped off, and I walked out, and he's sitting by his bowl in the kitchen. I tell you, he's a pig. He really is. So
It's spoiled. That's what it is. He's
Cat's
spoiled.
got you trained real well.
Yeah.
At 5:50 this morning, my fire alarm went off. My family's gone on vacation. Oh man, I jumped up as quick as I could. Jumped in my wheelchair with just pants on, no shoes or anything. Went all around the house. There's no fire. There's nothing going on. Just false alarm. But man, it gets your heart beating.
Oh, no doubt.
I bet you it too.
All the alarms are all connected. You know, they're all hardwired in, and they got a battery backup. And about once a year they go bad. And now one of them's going to be beeping. My wife gets home, put in the battery.
Yeah. Have fire extinguishers?
Yep.
Well, you got one in your room?
Got one in my room and got one in the laundry room.
Cool.
Which is like
that's one thing they if you look at the packages, they tell you how to space them, this and that. I always think, I swear by keeping one in your room, because when you wake up, you might need it to get out of your room, so, or if you have kids or something, if it's in the kitchen and in the hall, depending where the fire is, you might be out of luck. So, and worst come to worst, they make great targets when you recycle them. You can refill them usually too, but if you want, they make great targets.
Yeah, they just barely go out of that green, after 15 years, way past the expiration date. But they still stay right on the edge of the green arrow. So I just take those and put them downstairs next to the hot water heater. I figure that's probably the third place I need them.
Maybe I ought to buy one. I don't even own one.
Yeah, you should then, Rick. that's, it's one of them things where by the time you call somebody, stand outside and wait, you probably could have stopped a lot of things yourself. And turn, you just watch your whole place go up. But it depends. Maybe, some people, honest to God, wouldn't mind their place going up. So, that's all on you. But especially if you have kids or somebody you take care of or somebody that's going to take longer to get out of bed, definitely a good idea just in case.
Yeah. You got a good point there.
That'd be a hell of a lot of ammunition going up at once.
It would be.
And that's something you need too if you're out there smoking like some of them you guys burning up their decks. You to have one outside your deck too.
Yeah. I don't smoke, but that's a good
No one in
point there.
particular.
That happened to a friend of mine's house. His mother-in-law was smoking, and she dropped her. Well, she's done for cigarette, and it went between the deck and fell down into old leaves underneath the deck. Started all that on fire and burnt the whole house completely down.
Yeah, I think Patriot was referring to somebody we all know who was smoking meat on his porch.
No, who was?
Oh, hey man, what you do behind closed doors is your own business.
Somebody out in the YouTube chat.
That might be me or it might be Moo. Probably both of us, really.
Yeah, I think that was Moo.
Anyway, going back to guns and ammo and stuff like that, there's actually our big sort of farm store, Rural King. I don't know if you guys have them out where you're at, but they're like a Tractor Supply store.
Nope.
What? You don't have Rural King? They don't have them up in the north.
No, we have Tractor Supply.
Yeah, well, Rural King's like a Tractor Supply,
but with basically guns and hunting stuff.
Yeah, but they, as of this was on Saturday. I know today's Wednesday, but this past Saturday they had 9mm, and it was they had boxes of a loose 100 9mm. I can't remember the brand, but I think it was $38 for a box of 100. So
that's good.
That's not a bad price considering some of the prices you've seen.
I have a beef with Rural King, actually.
You do?
Yeah, people around here really like the place. You know what I mean? And they go there and buy all their pistols and stuff there when I tell them not to. But I went out there one time to buy a pistol. And I did my 4473 and I got delayed. All right?
Yeah.
And I really wanted this pistol and everything. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and pay it off. And he's like, well, we have to put it in layaway since you can't take it with you today or whatever. I said, okay, that's fine. So I gave him like all of it, but like $10 or something, right, on the pistol. Yeah. Well, I go back 3 days later, hey, I want to pick up my pistol. I got delayed. They said no.
Well, they have a right to do that now.
I know they do have a right to it, but it's not it's common courtesy around here to just go ahead and may issue it to me. But they gave me this spiel about, no, you're going to wait and see if we get an answer for 30 days. And I told them, I said, well, they don't work like that. If you haven't heard from them in 3 days, you're not going to hear anything from them. And they said, nope, that's our policy. You got to wait to 30 days. And if we don't hear anything, then you just start all over again, fill out another 4473. I said, well, nah, that's not good with me, man. Give me my money back. And they gave me my money back and said, oh, well, now we got to charge you a $15 restocking fee. So I was like, whatever. And I walked out and I'll just tell you what, another store 10 minutes away has gotten, I won't even say how much money, but they've gotten years worth of business from me and nobody else. And Rural King, it's all your loss.
Yeah. Well,
how can they charge you a restocking fee when they never gave you the item to be. Wow, that's just fucked up, dude.
That's what happens when you mess with people's wives like Jason.
Yeah.
I never mess with no farmer's wife, so
Anyway.
these people shouldn't profile me like that.
Daughter, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I mean, there's certain, that would piss me off too. I would never go back there again either. But I've never bought a gun from
similar with Dick.
It just, I know I'd rather buy it from a gun store, pay a little bit extra, or now this is how weird it is: buy it from a local gun store, or I'd rather have it buy it online and have it shipped to the local gun store. But
I had a similar experience with Dick's Sporting Goods. So to this day, I won't ever buy a firearm there. I usually try and not ban a place like the plague, but I'll be honest, I have checked it for ammo during this last year. But that's
yeah. Well, where I was going with this conversation to start with, anyway, was I was reading that magazine that you get from United States Concealed Carry Association. That magazine they send out to you once a month or once every couple of months. And the latest one is about the 9mm, how fantastic it is. And I'm reading this article in there, and it's going, after the FBI fiasco down in Miami in 1986, all the departments and stuff either went to the 10mm or the 40. And after a few years, the FBI got back into testing stuff, and they found out their agents, this is what's in the story, that their agents weren't very good when they were doing their requalification stuff, firing the 40 or 10mm. But when they gave them the 9, they started hitting the targets. That tells me they're pretty piss ass poor if they can't handle a 40 or a 10. Bunch of wimps if they can only shoot with a 9mm. I know I'm shooting with a 380. I thought I'll get that out there before anybody says anything, but I have issues. I got a disability.
I've heard the same thing about that shooting, Ray, that the officers weren't necessarily the best shots, but also I've heard Masada, you and guy from Lane and Tactical talking about this not long ago. Sent a video to Jason stating how then and now the ammo technology has kind of improved quite a bit more too. So 9mm is not what it was anymore in a sense with the offerings that are available today.
Yeah,
so that's also part of the factor in this.
But he still carries,
maybe more controllable for other people as well.
But he still carries a 1911 in 45 ACP though.
Yeah, that's just it, because 45 ACP might be actually 45 ACP isn't as old as 9mm. 9mm has been around longer, but for some reason or another, 9mm needed technological advances to help the cartridge. 45 ACP has been fine the whole time. So, I mean, I have some 9mm. I use it. It works fine. But I mean, if you said, would you rather have 15 rounds in a 9mm or 7 rounds in a 45? I'm going to take that 45 every single day.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a Beretta that shoots 9mm. I don't shoot it that often, but I've got one just to say I have one, but go on.
I keep a couple 9mm around just in case, I have some new shooters.
They're picking on you, Jason. Being the Beretta guy you are,
Yeah, he could go with the Beretta 96, and he'd have a 40 and 9 in a Beretta. So I mean,
yeah, but I mean, 40 is. It's another one of those rounds where it's like, this is a question nobody asked, really. I mean, the FBI sort of asked it, but not really. I mean, it's a 10mm special is what it is. It'll do the job. 9mm will do the job. 380 will do the job. People are like, I don't even want to get shot with a 22. No, you don't. It's about shot placement. I mean, there are some things that are going to be factors. If you've got to shoot through something, or the person is hopped up on drugs or something like that, then unless you're going to hit the off switch, then yeah, you're going to have to put a lot of holes in them. And even then, it's still questionable, right? So aim for the off switch and you're fine. You can use anything you want. So if you want to be a cheap ass and do nothing but 9mm because, you can't handle the more expensive stuff, or the stuff that, kind of takes people down with one shot, I get that. That's fine. You might need those extra shots that you're able to afford, unless you're able to hit the off switch.
Yeah.
And if you got something that puts a bigger hole in them, you don't have to be as close to that off switch to score a hit.
Yeah, that's why they got to carry 15 or 17 round mags, because they need that many just to put the guy down.
I mean, if you want to be, you don't want to carry a lot of rounds, and you want something that's going to be really effective, take a 44 Magnum out there.
You're very quiet, Jason.
Oh, I was just going to say, if 9mm don't do it, I got 357 Magnum.
There you go.
Yeah, but I mean, 9mm does it. That's just it. But I mean, if you're hitting a 300-400 pound guy that's on meth, center mass, you might empty that entire magazine and he's still coming at you. All right, you hit him between the eyes with anything, and it's all over. It's done. So I guess it kind of goes to that first poser video I did. Look at me, man. I got the high capacity, and I got this, and I got that, and I got that. And at 10 yards, you can't even get it an 8-inch group at 10 yards. It's like, dude, it doesn't matter how many mags you got, or how many extended extra whatever the hells you put on there so that you've got capacity. If you can't even hit a paper plate at 10 yards, you got bigger problems. So just because you have the tools doesn't necessarily mean you have the talent to go with it.
Yeah, you're right there. You're right there. I mean, like I said, I went out shooting shooting my 60 rounds of 223 that I got for $10. If I hadn't got them that cheap, I wouldn't have been out there shooting them. That was a lucky find. It wasn't even my find. It was my friend's find.
Ace Squibb, I don't know if you can see the chat, but Defense Dad just made a comment to your statement. He said, if you're a meth head, you won't weigh 300 or 400 pounds.
I wouldn't make a bet on that.
Can I go down? I'm up on the roof right now. Can I go downstairs and turn on my camera and show you some of the people I worked with?
Yeah, I've known some tweakers that were big guys and big gals. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, and no teeth.
Exactly.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, the training that's out there says go center mass. Center mass, you're more likely to hit the target. Center mass, you're possibly less likely to have a pass through or a miss. And you're supposed to know what your target and what lies beyond it. But in some cases, you may have to take that shot where you're taking that risk, and that's a judgment call. If you don't have a badge to protect you, it's an even more difficult judgment call. But sometimes that center mass means that you graze them or something. And I'm not saying every single time go for a headshot. If that's just it's not the best shot that you've got, or it's not the shot that you think you can take, or you just suck that bad with a gun, or you're trying to stretch this handgun out to long range, which is possible. It's been done before, but it's just not a normal thing for everybody. Then that headshot may be, not a good option. So I understand the whole center mass thing. But what I'm saying is, if you're emptying the mag into the center mass and they're still charging you, you might want to change your point of aim. That's all.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you've dumped 10 of your rounds into center mass and he's still coming, your next one might want to be for the head.
Unless, of course, you want to save their head as a trophy, because then if you do that, the taxidermist might go, look, man, you messed it up way too bad. I can't do nothing with this.
Yeah, in that case, shoot him in the neck.
Yeah, but if they're shooting 9, at least they can stay in the lines when they're coloring.
I think center mass is a general rule just for the general person. It's probably a good, rule of thumb in general. I assume it is. That's probably why it's known. Just because, a lot of times people are obviously moving harder to hit. Your nerves are up, things like that. A lot of people might already kind of be in shock that they've been assaulted because they never thought it would happen to them. So, for the average person, it's probably the best case scenario. So, still, even for somebody, I think, with training, you'd probably be best trying to start with that and then work your way up or down. Obviously headshot, or if something's not available and you can take a knee out, whatever, to just shut them down.
Yeah,
That's really how I usually start out at the range to get warmed up. I take your basic little dirty bird splatter silhouette target, and I'll use it, and I go right for the head to start out, right out. I start out trying to draw the little have a nice day, happy face like Lethal Weapon. And then my next little trick is I play a game called 15 to the face. And I go through a whole magazine and just erase the head off of the target. And that's how I warm up about every time.
And I'm not
my hero.
I'm not being like that person who says they should have shot him in the knee. Look, the reality is some of these shots that are they're difficult to make. They're not that easy to make, and some people just aren't that good with a gun. Also, like what Rob was saying, they're moving, you're moving, things like that. It's a judgment call. If you can't think while you're doing this, if you can't, this is another. It goes back to mindset. All right, if all you can do is put holes in a stationary paper target, and then when something really does happen, you freeze or you start doing just irrational things, you may not have the mindset to properly defend yourself. I mean, hopefully you make it out okay. Hopefully you don't end up shooting some innocent bystander or something else like that. But there are certain kinds of things that, like Rob was saying, you might not ever expect this to happen to you, and you go into shock when this does, and you freeze. So some people are just not going to do well under that circumstance. And I'm not saying, person charges at me, I'm going to kill you, and I draw my gun faster than the speed of light and put one right through his knee, and he falls over and screaming for his mom. I'm not that stupid, okay? I'm not saying that's necessarily, but what I am saying, though, is under, the circumstance where you've got the time to put 10 of your 15 rounds in center mass and it ain't working, at that point, you're going to have to do something else. It's just, every situation is different. It's a judgment call. Every person is different. You might be at close range. You might be at further range. You might have to get closer to them. You may have to maneuver and get underneath cover and work your way to them unless you're trying to get out of there. And sometimes getting out of there is your best option, not necessarily staying there. And then there's other times it's like, if you don't stay, more people are going to die because you're a coward. I mean, there's just so many different factors to take into place. So I don't want you to think that any of us here are saying, man, we're all just freaking perfect marksmen under all circumstances, and we could shoot them in the eye at 50 yards with, it's just, there are times where those shots actually do happen.
Mind you, people in the chat are saying another way to drop them is shoot them in the groin.
Yeah, I guess G23 is getting assaulted by Ron Jeremy a lot or some shit out there. I don't know.
I mean, I like. I noticed though, mind you, when I was shooting the AR yesterday, I went off. I started shooting at the still targets for a few rounds, and I'm looking at it. I got it. I think I got it lined up in the center of the still target. I pulled the trigger, and it's hanging between two trees. The still target. Next thing I know, the still target goes swinging past one of the trees. Now, this hillbilly stuff is not on hooks. He's got literally wire going through the hole that hangs up the things and tied around the tree. You know, and I thought I was hitting the center of the target. I mean, I missed so bad. I actually hit where the hole, almost where the hole is, and cut the wire. I tell you, I was pretty bad yesterday. I really was. You know,
You meant to do that.
what? I told him I did.
I thought you meant to do that.
That's what I told him. I said I meant to do that. By the way, that's where I was aiming. I go, you know. So no, I mean it was. See where I was going. The original thing, and I went totally off topic and never got back to it. Was I wear my contacts, and I told about the shooting thing. See, but see with my glasses here now. The reason is because they're what they call transition, but they're actually bifocals, but they don't have the line in them. So looking down my sight of my gun, I have to lift my head up so I can see because it's close up. But I'm going to try it. I'm going to, you know, last time I shot the rifle, I had my glasses on and I could see it. So that's my problem. Am I going? My decision here is how often I wear glasses 80% of the time. You know, so that's what I should shoot with, I think. Because, you know, if I ever get caught out, I'm only be wearing glasses. You know,
probably harder to adjust to your glasses and natural too. So practicing with that extra step might be better off. And then if you don't have your glasses on, fall back to, you know, going without, in a sense.
Yeah.
And now, when you were doing this,
you know,
when you were sighting in, would you get all frustrated and, you know, get upset and keep trying to nail it in? All right.
I got frustrated.
So I suggest that, you know, you make sure the sights, everything was tight and stationary, not moving around.
I got
and just stop and breathe and think about it, because you might be pulling it, you know, because you're upset, frustrated. You know, you might not be, you know, your breath pattern could be off. I mean, there's a lot to it. I mean, you know, I seemed like I always screw up on camera or I'm pulling it myself. So.
I got frustrated, and
sometimes you just got to stop and
I found the solution.
Run the basics through your mind and then go for it.
And I came up with a solution too because I was frustrated. I stopped trying. I said, "That's it. I ain't doing it no more." And that's why I started shooting at the still target and stuff. You know, because I said, "Well, I'm not." I said, "I'm getting myself so frustrated, and I'm not." You know, 1 minute I'm hitting dead center, next minute I'm hitting 5 inches low. I said, so that's it. I said, I'll come back another day and try again. For right now, I'm just going to play. So that's what I did. You know, so I just played with my AR-15, my toy gun, you know.
So
next time, talk yourself through if need be. You know, slow yourself down and make sure you're covering all the bases.
Hey,
after a while, you don't think about it.
It was 90 degrees out there. The humidity was unreal, and I'm sweating. You want me to stop and think about it? Jesus Christ! I was just, you know, glad to get home. I was soaked when I got home. I had to peel my clothes off. It's like getting out of a swimming pool. I was so sweaty, and I jumped in this, you know, pulling off wet clothes. You know.
So Rick, aren't you glad you bought that rifle?
Absolutely. For I could put it on my RNL display.com stand or wall mount, you know.
You're a hell of a guy.
You know, and use Rick's Life and get a 15% discount. There you go, guys. And you can have one hanging on, suspended on your wall like that. It looks like it's just hanging there in midair, you know. So,
it's because you can't hold freedom down, Rick.
That's right. That's right. You know, actually, I've got a. I haven't put it on there yet. I haven't seen him in a long time, but so I got myself a cheap sling for it. You know, So it's all stiff and everything. So I gotta use that. I figured I'd use it, and I might use this one on my too when I go squirrel hunting in August on my lever action, so I can carry it. I don't know. I got to figure how I'm going to do it yet. But hey, I'm saying, well, I wouldn't need. I can carry it because I won't be having any. I won't be using any canes or anything, so I'll be okay. I was thinking I'll still have a cane, and it would be easier to throw it over my shoulder, but I won't have a cane, so I won't need one. So there we go.
The 2-point. If you're hunting, a 2-point would probably be good because it's always good to have a free hand. You know, and twist an ankle or walking up, grab on the trees and without slamming the gun around and all that. So if you got it there, I'd say take it. If you don't use it, you don't use it. And worst come to worst, you could also use it to steady yourself for a shot, like Squib's video shows.
I don't like. I put it on there, but I'm worried about because it has the R15 has the what's called at the front. I put one of those quick release things in there, but the rear one is on the back of the stock, and it's it's one position. I don't know if it feels uncomfortable. I think it'd be uncomfortable. That's why
the rear's not the quick disconnect on the rear.
No.
It's just a loop on the rear.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not even a loop.
Okay. Yeah.
The M4 waffle stock.
What I would like is to have a quick connect at where it goes in the buffer tube or whatever.
You know what though about those, Rick? That quick connect there, right above your grip for like run a 2-point sling. If you don't have the sling around you like that, or it depends on how you're holding it, that strap of the sling is laying right across your hand all the time. So it's different. It's different. Hooking it on there in the back in its original location, you'll never even notice it was there.
Yeah, I have to see if I. Well, I mean, what by the looks of it though, it's got a hook on. Well, not a hook, but it's fixed and it's metal.
Yeah, it's just a loop.
Is that what you call it? And you clip it on. I mean, but the sling here has what you call it on it, a clip thing. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
Just clip it on there.
What?
Just go ahead and clip it on there.
Yeah, I'll give it a try. I haven't tried it out yet, so
There's usually two different styles of the quick connect there. One that is like a big kind of C hook that clamps on. The other seems to be a little push button deal with ball bearings that's circular. So if you have one or the other, they do sell thing. Obviously, it's going to add weight, blah, blah, whatever, but they do sell transfer kits to go from one to the other or vice versa or whatnot if somebody's interested in it. But honestly, and if you're not picky about slings, it might be more affordable just to order a different sling to match what you have for roughly the same price.
Yeah. Good point. I was thinking of ordering a different type, and I don't know. Let me try this one first.
I've bought 2 of the Magpul slings, and one of them is kind that'll go from a 2-point to a single point, and it's heavy. It's bothersome. You have 2 or 3 feet of extra sling to adjust all the time, and they are really heavy, believe it or not. And they're just both of them's a pain in the ass. I asked around on the YouTube to some of the guys in the chat, and maybe Squib here too was one of them. But I end up going and getting the simple little GI sling. It's just a piece of nylon with 2 little buckles for like less than $10.
Maybe that's what I need.
And that is the best sling. It is just simple. It's lightweight, nothing to play with, nothing to mess with. Works just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of weird. This is sort of like, this was cheap. It wasn't that expensive, but it's got sort of like paracord made type thing.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
Then nylon. Then it's even got a a pad that moves up and down. You know.
I got this one on eBay. It can go 1 or 2 points, and it's got like a little offset pivot, so you can go either side or whatever.
Yeah, like a little Y area.
Works out. Yeah, so it works out kind of nice, and it also blocks that spot there too. So you can adjust it anywhere you want, but it'll basically stay stationary to the angle you want. So you can run it as a 1 point or switch it over to a 2 point. So that's one of those attachments I was speaking of here for the quick connect on there. And I still have the other style connected to, which I could remove. I was debating on it weight, but I figured the hell with it, I'll just keep it on just in case. So, but yeah, so just an idea. But this one was, I think, like $11 shipped to the house, eBay, and works quite well. Adjustable, you can pull on it quick to tighten it up and whatnot. So, pretty nice for $11 or whatever it was.
Yeah. Oh, Kingpin's joined us. How you doing?
What's up, everybody?
How's it going?
Oh my God, it's 8:15 already. Jesus Christ! Time flies when you're having fun. So. All right, you guys got any other topics you want to bring up, or we start winding it up?
Well, tomorrow's the day they'll do their markup or whatever of that dude wanting to get the head job at the Gestapo.
Oh, Chipman? Is that the guy you're on about? The guy from the ATF?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, if they're gonna vote along party lines, he's gonna get the nod to go in front of the full Senate, because the Democrats, since they have the majority of the House, they have the more people on the committee. So they go along party lines, going to win that. Then if it goes to the Senate and they vote along party lines,
it only goes to the Senate. The House doesn't take part in it.
No, I didn't. No, if it goes to the Senate, right?
It goes to the Senate. It's already in the Senate.
Well, no, it hasn't left the committee yet. The committee's doing their vote.
That's the Senate committee. It's
the Senate committee is doing their vote tomorrow.
You said House.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant the Senate committee.
Yeah, that's all.
They do their vote tomorrow. Then if it goes along party lines, the committee is made up of more Democrats than Republicans because they have the majority of the Senate. So then it goes in front of the full Senate. Then since it's a 50-50 split and they vote along party lines, the VP will make the casting vote and get the job. That's all I'm saying. That's what I was trying to say.
I'll just say we shouldn't. I mean, we know his record, and we know how we feel about it. We can get angry about it, but what's going to happen is going to happen. We can't change that. But if he gets the job, let's use it against him. He'll obviously make the worst decision every time, and he'll run that whole agency into disrepair. And that'll be our chance to jump on him and take the attack to him.
Yeah, but what damage is it going to cause before you can get rid of him?
Yeah, it's still their. You can't give in to their fear. Let them propose all this. Let them try to enact it, and let's see if you can enforce it. Let's see if it'll go through the courts or not. But he's just a total failure. So if he does get the job, let's just edge on his failure and show what a ridiculous agency it is with a ridiculous person in charge.
Yeah, well, they ain't going to get rid of the agency, but as much as it needs to go because there's no purpose for it. But they're not going to get rid of. I mean, that's like it's something to work on to get rid of the ATF and the NFA, but it's something that's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time.
Look at all the immigrants that are pouring into this country. If they want to talk on Washington like they love them so much, these people are fleeing areas and regions where they don't have the Second Amendment. So if you're inviting them here and welcoming them here, but then in the second, your hands got your fingers crossed behind your back, you're wanting to take away their Second Amendment, well, it just makes you a racist.
Well, see, those people flooding here, they don't give a damn about the second. All they're interested in is the free stuff that's going to be given to them.
No, but along those lines, there's plenty of channels out there that every time the ATF proposes something, every time the ATF releases a statement, every time the ATF fill in the blank, they're on their channel going, every one of you is a felon tomorrow. The world is ending. It's all over. We need to do something. And it's a proposal. It's a memo. It's not a law. And it's not a law that's been passed. It's not a law that is enforceable. People need to take a step back and quit falling for the fear mongering. Once again, critical thinking. Just because big YouTube channel X says we're all felons tomorrow. No, we're not. It's just like all this stuff, this comment period, it goes on till like September. They're not going to do anything until after September. And even then, it's not like the day after the comment period closes, there's a law, and the AFT can't write a law. I know they've gotten away with creating law that they're not allowed, and that's where we need to use our gun rights organizations and use our networking ability and stuff like that to put their feet to the fire and to try to handle this legislatively or legally, or I guess you should say legally, all right? But people are ready to, put the cart before the horse? All these YouTube channels, small and large, are getting out there, we're all going to be felons tomorrow. It's like, dude, would you calm the fuck down?
Yeah, not only that, you're right there. I mean, even if this proposal gets passed and it becomes the new standard for the ATF, you're still not a felon until they come and arrest you and you get found guilty in the court. So even though they say you can't have one, until they actually catch you with it, you're not a felon.
Well, you got to have $250,000 to fight it.
So that's all I'm saying is, but you're not a felon until you're charged and found guilty. So don't get all worked up. So anyway.
The whole look how many things are in that proposal. Every one of it's ridiculous. None of it is going to stand. It can be attacked on so many different angles. You can go after against on the handicap side of it. You can go after it on the Second Amendment side of it. You can go out of government overreach side of it. I mean, it has no standing.
Yeah.
We keep our efforts up and we keep the heat on them. We're not saying don't back down, but don't get all upset and think the world's ending when your email didn't do anything. We have to be ready to fight and be organized and not panic. We have to tell them how ridiculous they are. And like I keep saying, we need to take the fight to them, show how everything that they do is unconstitutional, and make them fight for their survival.
My favorite part of this whole damn proposal is they are tipping their hat to something else that they want to do. Because if you read it, they flat out say that who puts a optic on a handgun anyway? If this goes through and nobody fights it and they're able to push this through, they're going to go for optics on handguns next.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's already in this proposal because
and they'll call hunting rifles sniper rifles too.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. Anyway, I'm going to wind this up, guys. I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna throw some bratwurst on the grill.
Oh,
So hey, the longest day is coming this weekend, so winter will be on its way after that.
No, you're a real buzzkill, I tell you.
All right, Jason, you got any shout outs or plugs?
No, good to see everybody, man. Thanks for the invite tonight. And,
Oh,
oh,
yeah, I forgot to do my quiz for this coming Saturday. What I wanted to know is to email me by 12 noon Eastern time, the only time zone that matters. Basically, what I wanted to, it's a real easy question. Is I want to know in the original movie Predator, I want to know what Arnold Schwarzenegger, or Dutch as he was known in the movie, what was the weapon he used and what did he have on it? That's it. Email me at rickslife@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Get it into me by noon Saturday, and you'll be in for the contest for the swag pack. So there we go. All right, Rich, any shout-outs or plugs?
See, we'll have the wrestling show on Saturday night on the Unlimited Media channel. That'll be at 9:05 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if I'm doing your show Sunday or not because of it being Father's Day. So if we don't do one, that'll be why, but keep an eye out for that. I may do that anyway. I don't know. I don't know what my family is planning to do on Sunday yet, so I can't give anybody a real definite on that. But if we do one, it'll be around between 8:30 and 9 p.m. Eastern, also on the Unlimited Media channel. So you may see that and you may not.
All right. Patriot, you got anything?
Thanks for having me. Another fine show.
Thank
Company standing, with Rob being here. But other than that, yeah, it's just make it a wonderful weekend and pay attention to what's going on around ya.
All right. Will and Well Armed, you got anything?
I got a couple videos coming out, so come on over and take a look. And thanks for having me. Have a great weekend.
You too. And Squib, you got anything?
No.
Okay. New York Outcast.
I'll start by just thanking everybody for putting up with Patriot in the dark. I know he can be a handful, but thanks for being cool with him. And other than that, check out everybody's channel here and amongst each other, respectfully. Eat a salad, and thanks for joining us.
All right. Kingpin, you got anything?
Yeah, 4th of July, Independence Day is coming up. When can't get to Independence Day unless you go through Every Second Matters first. So this is my invitation to everybody who makes videos. Let's make an Every Second Matters video. You all know what Every Second Matters is about. Put it out on the 2nd. And then I'll put a link in the chat to, in case you don't know what the Let Freedom Ring videos are all about. July 4th, 5 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. Everybody post a short video, a long video, any kind of gun-related video. Most people are shooting steel or shooting some type of target or blasting something. So I'm inviting everybody to do one of those videos and post it on Independence Day, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, and go out and enjoy yourself on Independence Day. Don't wait for the government to give you permission. All right, have I got everybody?
Miss Jason.
Oh, no, did I miss you, Jason?
no, you kind of started out with me, man.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought I did.
Good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Kingpin just pulled a Biden.
Oh, yes. Biden did that today.
No,
You forgot to.
We'll go ahead and actually do the facts of the case since both of you guys are Democrats. Rick said, Jason Stewart, how about you? And you started talking, Jason. Then Rick went, whoa. I forgot to do my quiz. Something about Predator's gun. So you can apologize anytime you're ready now, guys.
No, that ain't happening.
All right. Anyway, I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat for being here and stopping by on this Wednesday. I'll be back on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern was it Eastern Daylight Saving Time? Is that what they call it now? The only time zone that matters. So I'll see you all then. So I want to say good night to everybody in the chat, and I will see you all on Saturday. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Sabrina. Good night, Jason.
I believe the
Bye-bye.
truth, not the facts.